Welcome. My name is Deb Hamholtz, and I'm the Pilates director at Advocate Good Shepherd Health and Fitness Center. And today we're going to do a seated Pilates workout. A couple of things before we get started. You do want to use a sturdy chair. I'll just kind of show you my chair. My chair has two handles on it. If you need help getting up out of the chair, we will do some standing work at towards the end of the class. And you need that, go ahead and have that. I also have my chair on a mat. So as long as yours is on a non-movable surface, I would make sure that your chair is sturdy, because we will do, again, we're going to do some standing work at the end or towards the end. And also, if you can grab a hand towel, if that's accessible. Otherwise, maybe the next time you watch, you could grab a hand towel. We're going to use that. And also, I have a very light band. That's something that we will use, not necessary to have it, but if you do have one, it's just a very light resistant thing. So we are going to begin in a seated position. We're going to talk about a little bit about an assessment first that we should do daily. So in this position, I'm just going to be sitting on the chair for a moment, but I'm going to talk a little bit about an assessment that we need to kind of pay attention to every day. You could do this while you're sitting in a chair. You could do this while you're laying in bed in the morning, but just really going through the body and just noticing how we are. If we're laying in bed, just noticing what parts of the body are touching the bed, what parts aren't. So we have, and just to simplify it a little bit, what we call masses and spaces. So the spaces are the parts that wouldn't be touching. So the spaces would be behind your neck, it would be your low back, it would be behind your knees, it would be behind your ankle. So those are your spaces. What your masses are the bony structures of your body that would be touching. So the back of your head, the back of your shoulders, your rib cage, your pelvis, the back of your legs, your thighs, back of your calves, and heels. So noticing just how that feels, noticing how if you just gently turned your head side to side, and again, you could do this sitting in a chair as well. Just notice your range as you're going from one side to the other. And then notice when you're laying on your back in bed, just notice how your arms are feeling, how they're feeling resting on the bed. Or if you're sitting in the chair, just notice how the arms feel. Notice how the shoulders feel. Notice the pelvis. How does the pelvis feel? Do we feel more weight towards our tailbone? Do we feel like the back of our thighs are lifted when we're laying on our back? Do we feel the back of our calves? Do we feel that our feet are all the way rotated out, or our toes are pointing towards the ceiling? Just noticing and checking in with the body. So in a seated position, we're going to try to sit up nice and tall on our sit bones. So if you just take a moment, rock a little bit side to side, maybe rock a little bit back and forth, and find the bony landmarks of your pelvis. So we call them, in our non-anatomical term, the sit bones. Our anatomical term would be your ischial tuberosity. So what is the very pointed bottom of your pelvis? So we want to get upright on those sit bones, because that's going to give us a better position for our spine. So we're going to start with just some easy breathing. You're going to take one hand to your collarbone and one hand to your lower belly. All right, so we're just going to let the arms rest here. We're going to breathe in, and we're going to feel our hands rise on our inhale breath. So take a breath in and exhale. You can breathe out through your mouth. You could breathe out through your nose, whatever feels most comfortable. So again, just breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to move our hands to our rib cage. So if we take our hands, place them on our rib cage, try to spread the fingers so we can feel the ribs. And we're going to breathe in. And as we're breathing in, we want to feel the ribs expand out. And we want to feel the ribs funnel in. So our ribs sit on the body at a slight angle. So we want to breathe in and breathe out. And breathe in and breathe out. And then we want to breathe one more place. We want to breathe again, hand to the collarbone, hand to our low belly. We want to breathe between our hands and feel length through our spine. So as we breathe in, feel how the hands have the kind of image of sliding apart on our inhale and sliding closer together on our exhale. So inhaling and exhaling. And inhaling and exhaling. And then let's just let the hands rest on our thighs. So just taking a moment to breathe in, just a natural breath in and natural breath out, but thinking about those three positions. So those three positions, we build a cylinder of breath. So we're trying to keep a nice elongated spine. We're trying to open up the rib cage a little bit. We're trying to breathe into our front body, but also breathe into our back body. So again, let's just try it with our arms resting, thinking about those three areas and just taking a nice, easy breath in and exhale. One more, take a breath in and exhale. And then I'm going to use the towel. So we're going to take that towel, and if you grab it corner to opposite corner, you can just kind of twist it around a little bit. And then we're going to take that towel and it's going to rest on the neck. So we're going to take it around the neck, just let it hang for just a moment. And you're going to hold on to the ends of that towel, and then you're just going to lift it up, and we're coming to the base of the skull. So from here, we're just going to take a moment to just pull on that towel gently back and forth. So my hands are just kind of moving back and forth. And I'm at the top of the neck on the base of the skull. And then I'm going to slowly work my way down. So just kind of warming up the neck. I'm not putting a lot of force on the towel. It's just almost like you're drying yourself off after taking a shower, moving up to the base of the skull, and then back down to the neck. So it just kind of creates a little bit of warmth in the back of the neck. We'll just do it a couple more times. And then we're going to let that towel just hang. All right, so the towel is just going to rest here. We're going to take a moment, keep our chin level to the floor, and turn our head slightly to the right. And then we'll bring our head back to center, and we're going to turn to the left and back to center. So again, we're going to turn to the right and back to the center. So turning to the right and back to the center. And then let's just take our right ear and just tilt it slightly, we're like towards the shoulder. So we're almost like we're listening a little more, and then come back up to the center, tip over to the left. And as you do that, just kind of assess the neck. How does the neck feel? And then come back to center. We're going to turn to the right. We're going to tip the nose up slightly, like you're looking up where the wall meets the ceiling. We're going to let that left arm reach to the floor, and we're going to get a little stretch through that left side of the neck. Bring our head back to center, bring our left hand back onto our thigh, tip the nose up, turn slightly to the left, open up the palm, and reach fingertips towards the floor. And then come back to our center. Let's let the arms just hang for a moment. And again, just maybe take a little moment to press into the chair to, again, try to create that nice long spine. And then we'll lift our shoulders up to our ears and we'll just hold them for a moment. And then we'll just let them drop. So again, we're just going to slide those shoulders up towards the ears and then let them drop. And lifting up once again and let them drop. I'm going to go ahead and remove my towel just so you can have a little more visual of the shoulders. We're going to take the hands and we're just going to tap the top of the shoulder, light fingertips. We're lifting our elbows up. We're going to just make a little scissor, lifting one elbow, lifting the other. And again, anything that doesn't feel good on your body, you're just going to stop what you're doing, maybe take a moment, maybe make your motion less. So sometimes we have some shoulder issues going on. So again, it should be looking for ease. We're just moving that arm bone in the socket. We're going to lift our elbows up. We're going to open the arms out and bring them around. So just some gentle elbow circles. Noticing if there's any snapping, popping, crackling as you're doing this, then your circle gets a little bit smaller. And then we'll take it one more time around and we're going to reverse that direction. And then we're just going to come one more time around and then we'll let our arms release. Let's let the shoulders lift up and roll back. So lifting up and rolling back. And then we'll take them forward. And then we're going to reach up and have the hands reaching forward, almost as if somebody was going to pull you forward and lift you off the chair. Your shoulders will glide forward and then slide them back. So let them glide forward and slide back and reach forward and back. And then we'll just let the arms come back down. So shoulders again are relaxed. Let's sit back for a moment in your chair. So we could lift one leg up. So if you need to, you could bend your knee a little bit, hold on to the back of your thigh, sitting back in your chair. Your other foot could be grounded, or that leg could be out. And you're just going to do a little pointing and flexing. You can also keep your foot on the floor and point and flex. So pick one of those positions. That leg could just rest. You're flexing your foot. You're reaching forward with your heel pointing. Your leg could be at a slight angle down, or you could be holding onto that leg. So again, just flexing the foot, pointing the foot. Flexing the foot and pointing. I have my shoes off. If it's more comfortable for you and more stable for you to have your shoes on, that's fine. Just sometime when you're watching TV or sitting around, even not having a sock on and just trying to get those toes to open up. We spend a lot of time in shoes, just really getting the toes to spread apart and work. And you can scrunch your toes up and then release them, scrunch those toes up and release. And then let's circle the ankle. And then we'll reverse. And then we'll step that foot back down. So again, a lot of options. Foot could stay on the floor, pointing and flexing here. Leg could be straight out. You can hold on to the back of your thigh, whatever feels the best for you. And then again, you're just pointing your toe, flexing your foot, reaching through your heel. Might feel different on this leg. See if you can get those toes to open up, spread those toes. And then scrunch and curl the toes, curl. And then ankle circles. Both directions. And then we'll bend that knee in. Let's come back a little bit forward on our chair so we're again right on top of our sit bones. And we're going to just be tip my screen down just a little bit. Just so from here, your feet are going to be hip distance. So hip distance is the base of our pelvis. We've got our hip joint is when we bend our knee and lift. This is the wide part of our pelvis, but our hip joint is actually in front. And it's when you lift your leg up, you'll be able to feel where that is. That's hip distance. So what I want you to do is I want you to take your hands, use your hands to help get your spine nice and long. You're going to lift your right heel and your left toes. And then you're going to switch. So it's almost like you're taking a little walk. You're rolling up on one and rolling down on the other. So see if you can get that roll through the foot. When we're standing and when we're taking a step, we're actually pushing off the back foot and landing on the front foot. So we're lifting, lowering, lifting, lowering. And then let's take and lift our right leg up, coming into a little bit of hip flexion and lower. And then take our left leg up and lower. Right leg up and lower. Left leg up and lower. Noticing if you need to, you can hold on to the sides of your chair wherever it's comfortable. And again, just lifting one and the other. Now, the other thing is noticing, I'm going to turn my chair sideways, is what is your pelvis doing? So when we're upright here, if we roll slightly behind our sit bones, we're going back slightly. When we go forward of our sit bones, we kind of have maybe just a little bit more of an increase in that position of our back. But if we can stay somewhere right between, that's in a neutral position. We've got our natural curves in our back and then lifting up. Sometimes what happens is we'll lift our leg and we'll do this. We'll roll back to get a higher leg lift. We want to find what is our range, just lifting and going up into that marching, but without putting any compression into our low back. So we're just lifting one and lifting the other. Now, when we add on to that, what we're going to do is we're going to take our left arm up, and our left arm is reaching up towards the ceiling. So our left arm is reaching up towards the ceiling, and our right knee is gonna lift up. Use your right arm if you need for balance, and then come back down. Lift your right arm up and your left knee, and come back down. So opposite arm, opposite leg. Just building a little bit of heat in the body. Lifting one, lifting the other. And then let's lift both arms up, and you're reaching a little bit higher with your right arm and a little bit higher with your left. Again, if you have anything going on in your shoulder, or this is really hard, or neck, make your range a little bit smaller. You could use a bent elbow, but if you could extend your arm up, make a little gentle fist and reach that arm up and reach the other arm up. And we're getting some nice length on our side body. So reaching, 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 reaching. And then let the arms come all the way down. You're going to take your hands back to the top of the legs. You're going to take your left hand onto your right knee. You could hold on to your chair arm. You could hold on to your chair base. Keep nice length through your spine as you just start to look over that right shoulder. Just a little bit of rotation. Come back to your center. Look forward. Take your right hand onto your left thigh. Hold on to your chair arm or chair seat and turn. And again, really just focus on how does this feel on your body? How does it feel turning right? How does it feel? It's more of, I'm just aware of my rotation. I like to turn more to one side than the other. And then transfer and lengthen. And then back to our center. So again, rolling back behind your sit bones and then rolling right back on top. And then rolling back and on top. So we want to come up into a little bit of work in our upper back. So if it's comfortable, take your hands behind your head. You could interlace your fingers, or you could stack palm against the back of your hand and place it on the back of your skull. You want to make sure that you're not in your neck, that your elbows are in your peripheral vision when you look forward, and that your spine is lengthened and you're just looking up towards the ceiling. Now, again, if shoulders are tight or you have some kind of shoulder injury or issue, you're just going to look up where the wall meets the ceiling and look forward. So again, what feels the best for you in this position, you have to be cautious about pushing your head forward. It's more lengthening up and just looking up where the wall meets the ceiling and looking back forward. And again, up and back. Now, let's go back to crossing hands at the shoulder. We're going to lift your right knee and turn towards that right knee. Come back to center and lower your foot down. Lift your left leg and turn towards your left leg. Come back to center and lower down. Lift your right leg, turn right, come back to center and lower down. Lift your left leg, turn left, come back to center and lower down. Taking it a little bit more advanced, but again, if this doesn't feel good, go back to arms crossed at the shoulder. Hands are going to be behind your head. You're lifting up nice and tall. You're going to raise your right leg, turn towards that right knee, come back to center, step it down. Again, your head is pressing back into your hands and turn and back and center. Let's do one more on each side. Head presses back, spine is nice and lengthened. Lift, turn, back, and down. Lift, and turn. Back, and down. Arms are going to reach up, and arms are going to come all the way down. Let's take a moment now. I'm going to grab my band, but we don't have to do it with the band. I'll show it without the band first. You could also just use your towel. So if you use your towel, just kind of fold it in half. And we're going to hold it so that your palms are up and you're here. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to slide your elbows into your side. So I'll turn to my side in a moment just to show it. But what it's going to look like is your chest is open, your spine is lengthened, and you're going to pull with your right arm, and your left arm's going to go with, just like a windshield wiper. And then pull back to center. Pull with your left arm, and your right arm is going to go with. And then back to center. Again, you're pulling with your right, the left arm follows, back to center, pull left, and center. See it with the band. So if you're using a resistance band, there is no slack or no tension on the band. It's all slack. Your hands are coming together. Gently curl your fingers over. And then you're going to just pull your arms till they're shoulder distance. My elbows are at my ribs. My palms are up. So there's not a lot of tension on this band. I'm going to pull with my right arm and my left arm goes with. Pull with my left arm and my right arm goes with. So the movement is here, here, here. But it's all because this one pulls and this one follows. This one pulls and this one follows. All right, so let's just do a couple more. Pull right, left follows. Pull left, right follows. So what we're working is right in that arm joint, just kind of resetting the arm bone in that position. We're going to take the arms and just extend them out. Again, you could hold the band. I'll show it with the band. You could hold with the towel. And you're pulling slightly outward and you're just bending your elbows towards your shoulders. So think of the bicep curl, but focus more on lengthening back out. So easy bend of the elbows and lengthen back out. All right, so with the band, you would have a little bit of a dip in your band, just a little bit of tension, and then pulling in, elbows are in line with your shoulders, and lengthen out. And bending and extending. We'll do one more. Bend and extend. And then just let your band go if you have a band. Take your arms and you're going to open up so that the palms are facing each other. And we're just going to stretch the arms out to the side. So again, keeping the rib cage over the pelvis. Sometimes we do a back bend, but we want to keep reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling and just getting nice openness through the arms. And then bring the arms back in. And then open, nice chest opening. And back in. One more time. And back in. If you're using a band, there's a dip in the middle, so there's not a lot of tension, and you're holding that straight up from the shoulders, and you're just crossing the collarbones. Take a peek at your knuckles and make sure your wrist is straight, and then slowly come back in till there's a dip in the middle, and then stretch that out, across the chest, and slowly in. This time, arms reaching and back in. And then we'll set that aside. So just taking a moment again, roll the shoulders. Maybe do a little rotation of the head, side to side. And then coming back to our center position, letting the arms come down, take your left arm up alongside your ear. Again, that's not comfortable, just cross. You're going to be sliding that arm down, coming into a side bend. So if your arm is up, you're just reaching up and over. And the opposite arm is just sliding down the side of the chair. And watch for what likes to happen is this body likes to come forward. But we want to keep the body in line. Imagine you're going over, but you're in between two panes of glass. And then come back up, let that arm come down, reach the opposite arm up, and we're coming up and over. And back down, and lifting up and over. And down. And then taking a moment to press into your chair and just see if you can hover just a little bit up and then dropping back down. So you're hinging just a little bit forward, pressing and releasing. I'm hardly off the chair. I'm just using my arms to unweight the pelvis and then to come back down. We'll do one more. And then making your way up to standing. So you're going to hinge. If you need to, hold on to the side of the chair, come into that hip hinge and come up to standing. And then we're going to be behind the chair. So I'm just going to turn my chair sideways. And in this position, just coming up, holding on to your chair and feeling grounded through the feet first. So we want to have the big toe, the little toe, the center of the heel. We want to feel that connection through our whole foot. Tip this down just a little bit. So here, I'm lining up the toes. So my toes are lined up. I'm noticing as I'm holding onto the chair, am I falling forward? I want to be grounded through the feet. I want to be able to lift my toes and not fall backwards, but just get that connection through the feet. And then from here, I want to just do a little bit of a heel raise, but I want to go up instead of going forward and up. I want to go straight up. So just a little bit up and down, up and down. Stay holding on to the chair. And just practice that little heel lift. And then holding onto the chair, we're going to take that left leg out. We're going to tap our toe, slide our foot in. So tap the toe as you reach that leg away, slide it in, tap the toe and slide it in, tap the toe and slide it in. Let's reach that leg back, staying in our upright position, keeping our spine long, and then bring it in. And then slide it back and bring it in. And slide it back and bring it in. And back and bring it in. Let's do one more. Reach back and in. And then let's step it slightly forward and back. Slightly forward and back. And just kind of take a peek and see how the foot lands back towards the opposite foot. So you want to just bring it right back in. We're going to make it into a circle now. So we're going to tap, 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 and return. So tap, 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 return. Tap, 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 return. tap, 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 return. Might notice that the opposite leg is getting a little more work, right? Even though the left leg is doing the movement, we're getting more work through that opposite hip. All right, let's go to the other side. So again, just coming into that standing position first, we're going to tap and bring it in, and tap and bring it in, and tap and bring it in. All right, and then we're reaching back and come forward, and reach back and forward, back and forward, and forward. And then we're going to take it front and back. So point and return, point and return, point and return. And then we're going to connect all of those positions. So we tap forward, tap out, tap back, and in. Forward, out, and back, and in. Forward, out, back, and in. And forward, out, back, and in. Now we're going to come to facing the chair once again, and we're going to step out, put the weight in that outside leg, and step in. Step out and in, and out and in, out and in, out, in, out, and in. All right, and then I'm going to turn the chair around. So you're going to be coming from the front of the chair, and the hands are going to start at the side. We're going to lift the arms up to the ceiling. If that's not comfortable, arms can stay down. We're going to bend the knees slightly, tip the pelvis back. The back is in a nice straight position. We're in that hip hinge, and your hands are just coming to your chair base, right? So the seat of your chair. And then we're going to try to straighten the legs a little bit and then bend the knees. Straighten the legs and bend the knees. And then hands can come up onto the chair handles, and then arms can reach out and then all the way up. Or arms could just come back to your side, or they could come to a 90-degree angle. So again, we're going into that hip hinge. Hands come onto the base of the chair, keeping our back nice and straight. We could bend our knees a little bit more, like we're doing a little mini squat. We could straighten the legs. We could bend the knees, a little bit of squat, and straighten. And one more bending, and straighten. Now, you can come back up onto the chair sides. You can start to lift up and reach all the way up. Let's do one more. So we're coming into that hip hinge, bending the knees, sending the hips back, find your chair seat. Hold here. Start to straighten the legs a little bit for a back of the leg stretch. A little bend of the knees. Straighten and bend. And then hands can come up. Start to lift the chest, use the legs, come all the way up, and let the arms come down. Let's bring the chair back, facing forward, and coming just to a seated position, taking a moment to again just focus on lifting up through the heart, looking where the wall meets the ceiling, and then slowly, just a little gentle nod forward with the head. You're going to roll your pelvis back and then come up to seated. And again, looking up, watching that the head doesn't, if you need to, you can support the head, looking up, looking forward, letting the chin slightly nod forward, roll your pelvis back, and come back up. Let's do it one more time, looking up, and center, and roll back. And then just taking your arms out, you're gonna reach the arms up if that's comfortable. And again, I'll give you a modification in a moment. You're gonna hold on to the wrist and you're gonna side bend over to the right. Come back up, you're gonna hold on to the right wrist with the left hand, side bend over to the left. And coming back up to straight arms out, you're gonna turn to the right, come back to center, turn to the left, and back to center. And let the arms come down. So if you're modifying it, just lift the arms up to where it's comfortable. Take a hold of the opposite shoulder. Lead with the head lifting, keep the spine nice and long. Come back up to the center, lifting, and over, and back to center. And then turning, and turning, and back to center, and arms down. And then just taking a moment to just kind of fold over. Again, keeping the spine straight, if that feels better on your spine. Just letting everything just kind of relax here. Take a couple of breaths here. And then slowly come back up. Take one more big breath in, either lifting the arms up, reaching up toward the ceiling, or just reaching arms down, but spine to the ceiling. Focusing on breathing top to bottom, front to back, and side to side. All right.